looks a wee bit better, Facebook, yes. It needs to be done. The kitchen table needs to be cleaned and arranged as such. And that looks 1,000 times better than what it was looking like. And a bunch of ash and what have you on it. Yeah. Quite the crazy day I had. I make a trip to the gas station for whatever reason, and I'm not by any means in a shitty mood, but neutral, you know. And there's a hot ass goth chick in there, and I'm like, yo, that's what's up. And I smiled politely, of course, and stood in line and waited. And it didn't take long to find out she was taken. I'm like, well, I'm getting used to that right quick. But I'm not tripping out about it right now. Now that I have the ones made in order, the next step is to get padded envelopes in a P.O. box set up. That way I'm not directly giving out my address. Now, don't get me wrong, the shirt I was wearing is a cool shirt, but that son of a bitch need to be washed, Facebook. Let's be real with it. This gosh, it was pretty cute, but it was clear she was taken. I'm like, well, ain't that a bitch? But that's life. I could have been like, what up? I'm Gothic King Cobra. How you doing? No, but using my YouTube fame to pick up chicks when she's already got a boyfriend, that would be kind of unfair. So I politely backed off, of course, but I was like, damn, cute ass goth chick, that's what's up. And then me and homeboy Scotty are walking to a friend's house, and some dude literally drives by and yells faggot out the window. I pulled out my pocket knife, released the blade, like, you want to go, motherfucker? But before I got to that point, the car was driving off. My first initial response was, I fucked your mom last night with my dick and she liked it. And then I pulled my fucking pocket knife out, like, turn around, bitch, do something about it. Just kept on driving. Like little punk ass bitches. Didn't have nothing to say to that, did they? No, they didn't. Acting real tough, driving by in their car and talking shit. But I pulled this bitch out and they're like, you want beef? I'm like, no, man. And they're like, you want to buy some drugs? And I'm like, nah, man. Like, I'm autistic and straight. What the fuck is your problem? And you could tell these dudes are on something. They drove off like little punk-ass bitches that didn't even get out of their car. And it's like, dude, really? Awful talk for someone so big behind a car. You may have more protection. You might be able to run somebody over, but I'm ballsy enough to pull out my knife. Like, come on, bro, step if you're feeling froggy. Jump, you know what I'm saying? And these dudes weren't gonna get to me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I seen this hot-ass goth chick earlier, and even though she was taken, it was still a nice experience. Like, oh, hey, you know, that's refreshing. And unfortunately, to cap it all off, the fedora, I tried to squeeze it under my head, and when I did, it ripped. And I was gonna say the wind blew it off, but that'd be a bullshit lie, and there's no sense in lying to my fans about it. You know, I mean, for the moment, I got this bandana at least. I mean, it was a nice gesture, and I appreciate it, but unfortunately, it was too small for my rather large autistic head. I mean, the fedora tearing and a chick being taken, and then some dude just trying to start shit with me locally. It's like the combination of the three things. It's like, well, ain't that just a cherry on top of the bullshit cake? It could be worse. Yes, it always could be worse, Facebook and YouTube. Never forget that. Now, when this chick first seen me walk into the gas station, she's like, okay, well, what's he gonna do? You know? I look up, I'm like, oh shit, it's a banging ass god chick, that's what's up. I smile politely, and her whole demeanor completely changed. She was like, oh hey, I recognize that dude. She kind of had the I recognize that dude sort of look in her eyes. Like, oh, that's Gothic King Cobra, that's what's up. Kind of look, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't have to say shit. But she was there with her boyfriend doing a little bit of shopping, so I wasn't going to bug him. I was just like, hey, cool, I can appreciate that. Hell yeah. You know, that's something you have to get used to in society, running into people that you find attractive. And for me, it's like, well, you run into plenty of females that I find very attractive, but they're not currently available. You know, it's just part of life. And it sucks, but at least you appreciate the experience for what it's worth. You know, think to myself, is there really a goth scene in Casper? Oh, yes, there is. It's hidden in the darkest corners of your imagination. No, but all bullshit aside. Body language is a good thing. I was about to say something oddly witty, like, hey, baby, you like guitar players? I'd rock your world. Then I see the dude standing next to her with a big old shit-eating grin on his face. I'm like, well, you know, that don't take too long. I go to the register and I ignore their public display of affection like this. Whatever, you know. Same shit, different day, right? Like, it's pathetic when couples do that in public. It's actually gross, to be brutally honest. I mean, you want to hold hands, fine, but ugh. Human interaction. Just kidding, that was overly dramatic. Well, got the King Cobra overly dramatic? No. But then dealing with the immature loser driving by, looked like he was twacked out on something, him and his dork of a buddy. Yelling shit at me out the window, being stupid. And asking if I want to buy weed. I'm like, dude, you just insulted me. Why the fuck would I want to? No, dude, fuck off. If I want to buy weed, I'll go to fucking Colorado and smoke it legally. I mean, that'd be cool as fuck to like buy a shit ton of weed and then do a ghost investigation at the Stanley Steamer Hotel all stoned as shit. That would make for some quality entertainment. Like, here's got the King Cobra getting stoned, fucking with ghosts, good spooky entertainment, you know, sort of thing. Which then they couldn't say shit. They'd be like, oh, he's outside in the Studebaker hotboxing the fuck out of it. There's the opening of it. Like, so what up, YouTube? So down here in Colorado, doing a ghost investigation at the you know. Just walking to the Stanley Steamer Hotel and like, well, good thing his name wasn't Cleveland. And if the ghost recognizes that horrible joke I made, it'll probably start some shit. They'd be like, this motherfucker. Like, you think Zach Vegan from Ghost Adventures is a ghost antagonist? I I gives no fucks, dude. I'd talk shit on any ghost. I'd walk into an abandoned asylum and talk a whole bunch of shit. I wouldn't care. Now, the nice thing about a pipe is the ashes collapse in the bowl. You don't have to worry about ashing until it gets done. And usually when that happens, I'll dump it into something like this. But speaking of which, this could be empty, by the way. I'm pretty good about emptying my ashtrays. I don't keep them full because they stink up the place. Granted, I like the smell, but not everyone's going to be a fan of it. They'll be like, oh, it smells like cigarettes in here. You know. Don't want to lose that other pipe, so make sure you set that out before we dump it. And all the cigarette butts are out and empty and all that sort of thing. So they're not going to start a fire. Make sure they're out before you dump it. And there's common sense here too, but most people don't have it. It's common sense, but most people don't have it. It's really quite unfortunate. Sometimes finding the perfect match is not easy. See what I did there? Because I'm lighting my tobacco with a wooden match. Old school, baby. That was a horrible pun, but this Cherokee Black Pipe tobacco is definitely helping out in a pinch. Beats being out of cigarettes. I'll need to gather up a couple bit more supplies before I can start making more wands. First things first. Or transfer some money to my PayPal account. So I can transfer that money to my bank, because that's how I roll. I haven't checked my TuneCore in a hot minute. Let's see what that's up to. Alright. $20.25 in TuneCore. Sweet. Now, is there a way to transfer that to PayPal? There should be a way to. I'm not done with the new album. I got like one song left. And I could use that money to get envelopes for the wands, which will sell faster than the music at this point. Withdraw the money. Deposit money to my PayPal account. 3 to 4 business days. Damn it, TuneCore. Yes, continue. Withdraw the full amount of $20.25. For a musician that no one's ever fucking heard of, that's Not bad. I need some exposure, at least. Over 6,000 subs now. I need probably actually longer. Oh, my PayPal email cannot be blank. Well, shit. My bad then. It's the same as my TuneCore email, dumbass. What's wrong? The draw amount must be between 01 and, oh, for fuck's sake. I might have typed it wrong then. Hold on a second. 20 point. Yeah, I did. I didn't see the, no, I don't have that much, I wish. God damn it. Okay, hold on a second. There we go. Boy, this keyboard is just finicky. I didn't type it wrong, so why the fuck is it doing this shit? Withdraw funds processing. There we go. Good TuneCore. Thank you. That money will appear in my account Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. By Sunday, I transfer in the bank Monday, because that's how I rock and that's how I roll. Things like groceries and getting those ones shipped off, that sort of thing, which is a bit more important than the album at the moment. And I might just release it on Bandcamp for free because people are going to steal it and pirate it anyways. I could charge $4 for it, but I don't know. I mean, I made some decent money off of Teespring recently, so I was happy to celebrate that. And the Wand business taking off, I was in a good mood. It's in a cute ass check. Even though she was taken, I was still in a somewhat good mood. And I didn't let that person's shit get to me because I've got bigger fish to fry. Now, finding the right girl is not going to happen overnight. I mean, guitar playing is no different. You're not going to be the greatest guitarist overnight, you know what I'm saying? It'd be nice if it worked like that, but it doesn't. There's a good chance I'll get that whammy bar from USPS tomorrow. It said it would arrive yesterday, so maybe it's being delivered tomorrow, more than likely. But that's not a problem because I've already got the back of the spellcaster carved out and it looks sick as fuck. I did a little bit of wood engraving. And the S looks like a fucking scythe that the Grim Reaper would carry. I didn't intentionally mean to do that, but it works. And you got the pentagram right there, which didn't turn out half bad. So the spellcaster is engraved with the back of it. Did that myself. It didn't turn out too bad. Now it just needs the finishing touches, a nice whammy bar, which is due to arrive, and a fresh set of heavy gauge strings, and it more than likely needs rewired. And any other little odd and end that might need to be touched up on it, but You have no idea, dude. This took for fucking ever to engrave. And I sat here with this guitar on my lap and engraved it. And even the R, you can see it's an R at the end of it, so it didn't turn out half bad. And I damn near burnt myself a couple of times doing it, but I didn't, thankfully enough. That's still, it's a fucking cool looking guitar. And this is the kind of shit that I do in my spare time, customizing guitars and shit like that. Got this black and green Stratocaster named the Spellcaster, and I don't know, some people might be like, you would engrave the back of the neck, you sacrilegious bastard. Yeah, but I'm saying that shit looks cool as fuck. I don't know how the fuck I managed to make the S look like that, but that works. It's fucking sick. Getting that whammy bar attached to it will be a nice touch. There's like a little bit of paint right there on the square, and that can come off real easy. I got some toilet paper and some mineral spirits, but it's not blocking the serial number of that little director on the back, so I'm not really worried about it. Using the painter's tape made it more uniform, but there's still like patches of silver where it's not completely covered up, but I'm alright with that. You get a sort of a grungy look. Is it perfect? No. But it's a completely different guitar. And when it gets to the whammy bar, it's gonna look fucking sick. Granted, yes, that was a bitch to carve out with a wood engraver, but it was worth the wait. On top of that, the damn thing, like the plastic on the handle, broke in half halfway through engraving this. I'm like, seriously? So while engraving it, I fixed it with some painter's tape, and then finished it, and then unplugged it and let it cool off. Just literally fixed the wood engraver halfway through engraving this shit, and then finished it. That's how that went. But trying to engrave a pentagram into a round surface is not exactly easy. That could have turned out a lot worse. I mean, if I had like a laser printer or some shit, that would have been more uniform, but that's freehand, so I guess I'll give it a more creative feel to it. And I fan had suggested to turn that Teespring shirt inside out when I wash it, that way the shit doesn't fade. Which is a good color, you know. So that, yeah. That is fucking sick looking though. You look at it closely, you can definitely see. The whole thing is. That's gonna give it like a really rough feel on the palms, but yeah, so that was gonna customize a fucking Stratocaster, and I wasn't bullshitting. There's step 2 right there done. Step 3, reading the whammy bar put in there. Step 4, reading it fixed. That took a minute to freehand, but that didn't turn out half bad. It could have turned out a lot worse. And the fact that I didn't burn myself while doing it in my lap is even Even bigger testament. I mean, if I became a famous fucking musician, this shit would be worth some serious cash. I'm taking a Stratocaster and putting a personal touch on it, yo. And having the S look like a fucking scythe. I don't know how the fuck I pulled that off, but that's cool as shit. Especially with the whammy bar right here. Yeah. That's gonna look fly as fuck. Like some mean ass looking shit. Because of the alternative tuning that I do, it's definitely a good idea to get heavier gauge strings that don't snap as quickly. And these are just personal guitars that I own. But customizing guitars is a great way to have some fun, you know. Quote unquote, stay out of trouble. Even though I look like trouble with the capital T. I look bad to the bone. It's no pun on my shirt necklace, but and of course the dude that was harassing me earlier had seen my fedora and asked if I wanted to buy weed from him. I'm like, dude, really? I looked at him like he was fucking stupid. Like, nah, dude. Like, maybe he wasn't getting it. You insult me, and then you threaten me and my friend, like you all big and bad, but you won't get out of your fucking car while I'm holding this knife because you're a fucking bitch. Like, the logic's not connecting, and more than likely that dude was twacked out on something. I don't doubt it for a fact. His pupils were the size of fucking nickels, and it was complete horse crap. I'm like, why is this method harassing me? I don't understand it. And I came this close to having to fight a motherfucker, but the dude thought twice about it. Him and his buddy drove off, and I'm like, smart move on your half. And I decided to put my knife away because I didn't want to, you know, get an assault charge. But when people going around picking on me because I'm not afraid to be myself, that's all it came down to. You know, I'm used to it on YouTube and shit. And obviously I don't give a fuck, otherwise I'd change. And some people can't handle that realness. They think, well, that's just, you know, intimidating. He's not afraid to be himself. That takes courage in this kind of modern society. And there are people out there who use words like tranny and faggot to insult me because they think it's funny, but I'm very comfortable with my heterosexuality as a goth, and it intimidates them. So therefore, they lash out and attack because they're jealous. Some guys can pull the shit off, some guys can't. Now, I have an apartment inspection coming up. I'm not going to say when, but I can guarantee I'm going to pass that shit. I may be a bachelor with autism, but, you know. Got a thing too. I could transfer that $20 some odd that I made on TuneCore to my bank account through PayPal. That's money for food, cleaning supplies, padded envelopes, more leather strings, sandpaper, that sort of thing. But I wouldn't worry about getting more sandpaper and leather string until I can get more sticks, at least. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as I get padded envelopes that are at least 20 some odd inches long, which is long enough for all the wands to fit in there comfortably, like the biggest padded envelopes I can find, and get a P.O. box set up. That way I'm not using my direct home address. The wands will be mailed and shipped off and that sort of thing. I could already see 2 Cobra Craft wands, P.O. box, blah, 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 blah. But the nice thing about Etsy is they saved all the addresses of people who ordered them. I'm not going to release that information, obviously. But I know Exhumed Visions ordered one, which is definitely what's up. One of my, as soon as they saw it was a legit thing, they instantly sold out in 5 minutes flat. I was like, damn. Now that the weather's warming up, finding sticks is going to be a little bit easier. Okay, yeah, that table looks 1,000 times better. It was a bit of a clusterfuck, and it was a bit disorganized, and it was dirty. So I cleaned it and reorganized it. And just those 2 simple things alone make a huge fucking difference. You have no idea. As long as it's getting maintained and the rent's on time, they're not going to say shit. Especially if the ashtrays are empty and it don't stink like tobacco in here. You feel me, Facebook? Like, that's just simple as that. Look at that. After this match right here, I have like 4 matches left. Ain't that a kick in the ass burgers? I'm like, who the fuck was... And like, this dude's eyes were red as shit, and his pupils were super tiny. Like, dude, I don't know, he was on something. I'm like, I ain't stupid. Probably on some stupid shit. I'm just like, wow, dude. I put my knife away because I'm like, you know what? Karma's going to sort him and his friend out for me. Me and my demon friends will take care of that. By me, I mean my demonic powers and, of course, my demon friends. Sometimes in life, all you can do is load up your pipe with some tobacco, smoke it, and say, fuck it. That's, that's how the tobacco crumbles, I guess. The saying it could be worse may not help your situation now, but sometimes you're going to see people who struggle a lot worse than you do. And people ask if you're a goth stand in Casserole, obviously, but, being who I am, that's probably why I'm excluded from it, because it's like, oh, it's this guy. Which, yeah, I don't know. Maybe some of them are cool with me. Some of them are just like, maybe they don't know my videos and maybe I'm just overthinking it. But either way you shape it. Damn, this tobacco pipe's almost a year old. And the green paint didn't last on it. It actually faded from it and made it two-toned. Up close you can see the grain of the wood is brown, but from a distance it's like black and green. Almost. I don't know how the fuck I pulled that off, but it doesn't look shitty by any means. I mean, it's different. You're definitely not going to see a pipe stain like this one. Not quite what I was going for, but I'm not particularly fussed about it at the moment. Made $40 on Teespring. Made $20 on TuneCore. I'm selling music. So, I'm in a somewhat decent mood, I guess. I'm not, When people start talking shit and they don't even fucking know you, that's, even then, not really a justifiable reason to get pissed, but at least defend your ground somewhat. Being a perfectionist is like having OCD. And when I played the song that I was dramatically working on, I use the word dramatically loosely. No, but when I was working on the song, The Power of Music, and it finally come together, I'm like, oh shit. All that bitching and griping paid off. And, speaking of which, classic, my phone's dead. Well then, the most logical thing would be to charge it. Amazingly, yes, this charger still works. How the fuck? I don't know. I was going to make use of this painter's tape if we got it. Not as reliable as electrical tape, but at least. Yeah, there we go. Put a pinch of that right there. You just leave it like that, it'll hold that in place. Do the same thing down here. Fucking life hack. The age-old expression, tape fixes everything, right? That's a joke, but no, seriously. There we go. Fix it to that end too so the wires don't come off. Not the prettiest, but that'll work. Some people be like, that's stupid. I'm like, no, that's resourceful. There's a difference. My point exactly. Look at that shite. But the ones are all dry and ready to ship as soon as I get the envelopes I need to ship in. Oh, and it was fully charged, but it didn't want to turn on. That shit's weird, man. It makes you wonder if the ghost in my apartment's draining the phone energy, or if my powers are doing it, one of the two. I've seen some shit that science can't logically explain. Some supernatural shit. Despite the random bullshit, I had a rather okay day. I can't say it was the best, or I can't say it was the worst. You know, that's just that you're taking one day at a time. That's all you can do sometimes. When I got a smoking hot girlfriend sitting in my lap, or even just a smoking hot girlfriend sitting in my lap, then what are these haters going to say? Nothing. They're still going to be talking shit. It's like, you want some toilet paper for your mouth. Why do you say that? Because their mouth is talking Asperger's. Why do you say that? Because they're talking shit. So I wonder if Charter Internet is on the autistic spectrum. See what I did there? That was a horrible joke, but you know what? I went there. That was an internet joke, and it was horrible, but I went there. I'll make fun of my autism. It takes the power away from the trolls who do it. If they see me making fun of it, they're like, oh, shit. How the fuck are you supposed to troll somebody if, and I quote, they make fun of their own shit? It kind of defeats the purpose of it. The only reason I monitorize the comments on YouTube is because people are trying to spread my home address and where I work on social media, and it's fucked. And people who are that obsessed with hating me need serious mental help. The person you're trolling has autism and you're bullying them, and yet you're more miserable than I am, otherwise you wouldn't do that kind of shit to me. That's the only way I can figure it. And also that you're just jealous of my somewhat growing success on social media. But being a public figure, I do have to watch what I say to them. For the most part, I can't just I can always check my USPS mailbox tomorrow at the same time, and it might actually arrive then. Now, some things are worth the wait. That's a cool whammy bar, and they're all accentuate that Stratocaster very nicely. And that'd be some cool shit if it actually fit. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just screwed right into place perfectly. That'd be like, yes. But if it didn't, I'd be like, well, ain't that a bitch? And then I'd have to have the hardware set up so that it would fit it. I don't give a shit if you're gay. That's more pussy for me. You feel me, Facebook? People want to attack me for being myself. They're just jealous because they're insecure little pricks. I wasn't expecting to run into a smoking hot goth chick earlier, but you know. I was at least polite about it. Once I saw she was taking, I didn't even bother flirting because I already knew the answer. You know, my radar picks up on shit like that. Like, okay, this chick's kind of hot. So 9 times out of 10, they're going to be taken, you know. If there's no physical spark, then don't force it. You're going to be miserable, trust me on this. That sounds vain as fuck, but it's the fucking truth. No one wants to hear it. Looks are not everything, no, but at the same time, if you're not physically attracted to that person, why do that to yourself just for the sake of having sex? Fuck off with that. No, dude. Do that. No. No. But if there's a physical and mental spark there, then go with it and see what happens. You might get something good, but you want to look for a nice balance of the two. You can't have one without the other. It's a yin-yang effect. And what do I mean by this? You could find some girl that's super fucking attractive, but if you have nothing in common, then it's just purely attraction, which can work, but in the end, doesn't really get you very far. You can meet a girl that you talk with that's really good, but if there's no physical spark, then, you know, there's no sense in trying to force it. End up being good friends at least. That's better than nothing. Then you find a girl with a balance of the two, and, you know, if circumstances play out in your favor, which, you know, yeah. It's gotten to the point where I don't even give a shit if they're taken. I'm just grateful for the encounter, as cheesy as that sounds. I like the time I bought the earrings from that hot-ass chick at the mall, and my right ear was already pierced, but my left one wasn't. So I walked around the mall, piercing my left ear with the matching one. I circled back around by the earring stand that I bought them from, and they went, no ear piercing gun needed. I heard the cartilage pop. That's gross as shit, but yeah. Of course, as soon as I got home, I took it out and cleaned it, and yeah. And then typical, the one on my right ear breaks, but the one on my left ear doesn't. Yeah. I know I got the Cobra tattoo on my left arm back when I still had the matching pair of those earrings. I'd had those for a minute. And then after I got the Cobra tattoo, like a couple months after I got the Cobra tattoo on my left arm, the one right here, the one on my right ear broke, and I'm like, well, ain't that a kick? Let these haters talk shit, because I'm the one that's going to have the last laugh. And being an attractive rock star who's also famous on YouTube, that can help. I mean, I've had my music played on the radio, so that kind of technically counts as starting somewhere. I mean, it's not playing the stages or nothing, but which to me, it's not about being famous and playing stages. It's about making the music you feel what I'm saying on Facebook. But even 4 people will tune in to watch this random little live stream deal at 3:45 in the goddamn morning. How about that? Now, the nice thing about living in a small apartment is it's easy to clean. Pros and cons, really. Not much space, which is the con, but the pro is super easy to clean. Damn, that tobacco fogs up nicely. I didn't put that much tasty puff in there, just what I had left. It looked like that much, but no, it's enough to give it a little bit of grape taste, but not too much. The harsh taste is nice. The kind of tobacco you smoke when you're in a pinch, so you pinch them off in your bowl. Like legitly, Wyoming's gonna make cigarettes more expensive. Wyoming's gonna make cigarettes more expensive. I'll laugh at your expensive cigarette prices. No, fuck that. Those high cigarette prices can kiss my Asperger's. A well-placed fart. Yes. Being too real gets you hated. People perceive you to be a negative asshole. Some people just can't handle the truth. It kind of feels like I'm going to be alone the rest of my life, but maybe that's not it. You know, I can't say that for sure because I haven't lived the rest of my life, you know. To say you're going to be alone the rest of your life is a cliche. And it's easy to think when you have a hard time finding companionship, but there are 2 kinds of people. There are the waiters and the getters. There are people who can't get it very often, so they tend to appreciate it more, but they also live lonelier lives. Then there are people who can get it more easily, and sometimes that's not always a good thing. Especially if you're a dude and got a bunch of chicks fighting over you. It sounds fun in fantasy, but in real life it's just, ooh. They drag you into their fucking shit, and it's just like, well, all because your dick was involved. And it's like, sometimes that can lead to a lot of unnecessary drama in your life. The advantage of being single is I'm not getting chicks pregnant, which is also a good thing. The thought of me reproducing is a scary thought. I mean, kids are eating Tide Pods and posting videos on Instagram about the shootings they're gonna pull Do you think I want to raise a kid in this fucked up society? The answer is no, not really. If you're trying to get attention on social media, then why are you doing stupid shit like that? That makes no damn sense. Like, you can't just say you're upset about a certain issue and leave it at that, like I do. I get made fun of for being goth, trust and believe. People have made really fucked up comments about me in the past, and I ignore it because it's just not worth my fucking time. I'll acknowledge it because, like the song Troll Slayer, it's a metaphor for killing the issue that is bullying. You know what I'm saying? So it's a metaphor. It's not literally saying to go out and murder your bullies. I'm not encouraging that at all with the song Troll Slayer, but it's a metaphor for killing the issue itself. You know what I'm saying? And it's the deeper message behind it. Well, Elliot Brandy says, cool shirt, Josh. I have an interview tomorrow. If I get the offer, do you think I should take it? That depends. You know what I'm saying? You got to think of what are your needs and what are your wants. And if the offer benefits both of those greatly, then why not take it? It could better your future. Which brings me back to the dating issue. You know, wanting a girlfriend is perfectly fine, but you don't necessarily need one. People who are in a rush to find companionship are often afraid to be alone, so because of that, they end up rushing to find it, and when they rush to find it, they end up in shitty relationships. Oh, love is like a fart. You shouldn't force it. It stinks, and it involves assholes. Another perfectly timed fart, yes. Man, I did not expect to sell the wand that quickly. That is some crazy shite. Literally sold all 10 wands in 5 minutes flat. Made like $240. Cha-ching. In midst of doing more cooking videos for YouTube and stuff, I also gotta make sure my kitchen's clean. I can't be getting grease all over the place. I could make some decent money doing some live streaming, yes, but I'm not worried about it right now. I might do a YouTube live video tomorrow, and if people want a shout out in that video, they have to buy a t-shirt from Teespring. Gotta sell that merchandise. I mean, I rocked that King Cobra shirt when I got it for the longest fucking time, but it needs to be washed. Just being real with it. I can't wear it like 24/7 all the time, otherwise that shirt would get nasty and then I couldn't wear it, and that would kind of defeat the purpose now, wouldn't it? Pretty much. Be like a live stream of me just playing some mean ass guitar. And if anybody fucking talks shit, don't even acknowledge their name, just ban them from my channel. Now, if AdSense is linked to my PayPal, then it might show up in my PayPal or bank account, one of the two. Or they'll send me a check, which would be nice. And if I see a check in the mail or some sort of money produced from just what I did live streaming like last month, then I'll be like, you know what, hey, maybe there's something to this. I can make some serious money doing it then. Interesting. According to Mr. Andrew Nigian, YouTube has an inbuilt donation system. Hell fucking yeah. Selling that merchandise on Teespring is gonna help me make the wands. And with what I could work with, I was able to make 10, but if I sold a shit ton of shirts on Teespring, then I could make a lot more wands, buy more supplies, you know. Maybe it takes time to set up. If I haven't seen any YouTube donations by April, then I'm going to be like, what the shit? But maybe it takes a while to process. I understand that. And maybe YouTube's like, oh, this person's content is too controversial, so we don't care if he's going to get donations or not. That's money in our pocket. You never know. YouTube could be stingy like that. I'm not going to accuse them right off the bat. I'm just saying. Why the fuck are we blaming guns for mass shootings? We don't blame cell phones for idiots who text and drive. Seriously, 20 people could easily get killed while texting and driving. And no one says, oh, it's the cell phone's fault. No, they're like, okay, which idiot was the one behind the wheel doing it? You know, words like behind the wheel and, that sort of thing. So why should mass shootings be any different? Instead of blaming the guns, which is a scapegoat, why not blame the people who do them? And fixing issues to where you can't just buy an AR-15 with an expired license. That's bullshit. And if worse comes to worse, having metal detectors at the entrance of every school, then so be it. I'd much rather have that than people arguing over whether guns should be banned or not. That's not the fucking issue. If getting a hold of guns becomes stricter because of recent bullshit, then I understand that, and I'm in total favor of that 100%. Because a gun market where guns are being sold in a controlled and responsible environment is much better than having guns illegal where they're sold on a black market. That's something to think about. Because during alcohol prohibition, it didn't matter if alcohol was illegal or not. Facebook, people could make it themselves, or they knew somebody who had some. And if you made guns illegal, it would be no different than alcohol prohibition. So it would probably make things worse. Now, the nice thing about the Second Amendment is that when assholes decide they're going to shoot up a school, you can be there with your gun to stop them before it happens. And if we got to have armed guards and metal detectors at the entrances of every school, and armed guards patrolling schools, then so be it, And if you're having an issue with society's crap, then talk about it to somebody. Make a video, express yourself, listen to some music, chill the fuck out. It's, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I get melodramatic from time to time, but some of y'all just, ugh. Like y'all need to take like a serious chill pill with that mass shooting crap. I'm tired of it. Innocent lives are taken and guns look bad, and it's just stupid. And of course, people, what do? They blame the mass media, they blame video games, all that stupid shit. And it's like the usual suspects, right? People can take my YouTube videos and my Facebook Live videos and splash them together and make me say things that I didn't say to make me look bad. And they do it to fuck with me because, I've seen them do it before. And I'm just like, okay, if it's not on my official channel or on my official Facebook, then, you see the videos that they use to make the new video. They're like, oh, they're using YouTube to fuck with this guy. Shit, It may take it with a grain of salt. It's a part of being famous, unfortunately. When I do anything to my hair with my hands, is going to be detangling it like that. If you don't have a comb handy, and like massaging the area where, like back here where it needs to grow, from picking it out, which it'll grow back, but I don't pick it out. Now my hair looks so good that when I did the treatment the first time, that I think that twice a week should be enough to really do what it's supposed to do. Yeah. See what it looks like after 4 weeks, and if it looks good, then yeah, get the product a official review on Facebook or YouTube. I mean, and yeah. Mane and tail does work to some degree, but all that does is add length. It doesn't really grow it back to an extent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm willing to give that shampoo a try. I mean, if it works, sticking it up. Do you see that one? Yeah, that wooden peak's starting to come in as a patch right there. What about the other side? Yeah, same thing. Definitely see a patch going in. And it's going to take a while before my bangs are this long all the way around, but my hair does grow fast, but not that fast. And knowing the kind of crap that I get on social media, and I'm like, well, I don't mind posting the progress of my hair growth. And if people see the product work for me, then it's free advertising for that company, you feel? What I'm saying, Facebook. But when I get those wands shipped out, I will let you all know. Well, obviously, because people who order them are going to be like, yo, you know, want to know when exactly. And doing that will stimulate the follicles in your scalp. I'm not picking at it, I'm merely massaging the area with my hand. And if the patches are already starting to come in full of hair, then I wonder what it'll look like in a couple of months. And I actually get long enough to, or I can start doing stuff with it, and it won't look so punk rockish, but I'm not really worried about it at this point. Like I've seen goths with half their head shaved. I'm not really tripping out about it. You know, it's just hair. I know for a fact it's gonna grow back though. You can see the patches and shit. There's some random ass vampire movie and the vampire had his hairstyle like that, with just one fucking spike going up the middle. Someone commented on Facebook Live one time, "You look like the vampire from this movie." I'm like, "Oh, look, it's the hairstyle." Hardy, har, har. I'll take it as a compliment though, because it wasn't some cheesy vampire movie, at least. Oh, look what I found on my desk. Noise. See, I wasn't expecting to find a halfie, but I'm good with that. This is a nice little mini sword. I've been using a steak knife sharpener to give it an edge. It's the only thing other than a sharpening stone, which would probably work, that I have at my disposal. And if you angle it just right. At least until I get my copper sword put together, this is what I'm going to have to work with. This ain't bad. And carrying something like this ain't illegal. There's going to be a sharpening line. Yeah, right there, I see that line going all the way down. There's a line that goes down the steak knife sharpener all the way down. And you want to go with the groove of that against the metal blade. I mean, it gave it an edge. It's nice and dull, but that point is sharp as fuck. And obviously that person talking shit was on something, because the way he fucking was acting. But I was hanging out with friends, so I had more important shit to do, honestly. Like, I was just like, ooh. Stupid people are just, that's the way to describe them. But supposedly I made like, if you want a shout out on my live streams, buy a t-shirt or make a donation. That's good way to do it. So just doing it on the edge right here, doing it right here on the inside as well. And this thing's gonna take for fucking ever to sharpen, but the sound of a mini sword being sharpened on a steak and knife sharpener. It's a wonderful sound, isn't it? And the reason why I didn't let that person shit get to me is because I get bullied on social media all the time. Who the fuck is this chump? You know what I'm saying? If I get the edge right here sharp as the point, we'd be in business. It's definitely not going to be an easy task. Got a nice little edge to it. Not going to be an easy task, but once it's sharpened, hoo-hoo. And this metal is so thick, I literally have to apply friction and the blunt force of a steak knife sharpener to sharpen it, but it's getting there. And to fine tune a blade like this takes time. It's not going to happen immediately. At least this one can be sharpened with the steak knife sharpener. Now the blade for my copper sword is going to need a sharpening wheel for that. Mini sword ASMR. That's even a thing. Mini sword sharpening ASMR. The edge that it has now didn't happen overnight. Like this took hours of just sharpening this son of a bitch. This would go a lot faster if I had a sharpening. I'll just say shh, done. sometimes your hard work pays off. Case in point, if you ain't got a sharpening wheel, make the best of a shitty situation and use something else. And once the wand business takes off, dating will look a lot more prospective or prosperous or whatever the fuck you want to call it. More in my favor, I guess, would be an easy way of saying it. Yeah. It doesn't do you any good to date if you ain't got the money. Lebowski. There are some women who are independent and will pay for the meal, that sort of thing. But, it doesn't hurt to be a little old-fashioned every now and then and be a gentleman of sorts. And, if you ain't got the money to back up your game, it kind of defeats the purpose. Porn for the most part is pointless because you're watching some video of a chick do it with another chick. That's cool. But if you're not right there joining them, then you're really just teasing yourself at the thought of it. And you beat your meat, you could masturbate to that kind of thing, and that's all good and groovy, but masturbating to the thought of it's not as good as the real thing, you're just teasing yourself at that point. So why watch a video of some chick playing with herself? Because it's erotic. And it serves a basic purpose. And I can distinguish reality from fantasy. That's fantasy. That's just a video, But most people who have not had relations aren't going to be able to make that distinguish. And unfortunately, pornography does paint a rather negative cliche about certain things like that, certain expectations and stupid shit like that. But the lesser of the two, if someone's going to watch a lot of porn or try to force it on somebody, I'd much rather that person watch a lot of porn. I'm not going to force it because, you know what I'm saying? You could have something good with if you play your cards right, so why force it? You get over your fear of being alone and gripe about it a lot, but at the same time, I'm not getting it all the time. It's usually because circumstances are what they are, and I have a bit more patience. I'm not just going to rush out. And I go right along here, it's got an edge. here to here. It's I like that sharp edge it's got right there. It's not ridiculously sharp, but it's sharp enough. Orbital right here. And it gets sharper and sharper. It's definitely getting sharper. I like that. I like that a lot. It's a nice looking mini sword. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't do you any good to have a mini sword if it ain't sharp. Or at least sharp enough to, you know. In a small town like Casper, where a lot of stupid people smoke meth, you gotta be like, okay, you know what? You gotta have your wits about you, man. And if you ever get into a fight with a meth head, it's really easy to win. You block and stand your ground, let them tire themselves out. And as soon as they wear themselves out, one hit, they're done. You know what I'm saying? I mean, meth makes people do stupid shit. If you're gonna smoke something, smoke a fucking cigarette, for fuck's sake. People want to go on the offense about my tobacco. It's like, well, you want the energy boost? Well, then fucking drink a Monster or drink a shit ton of coffee. Why the fuck people smoke meth is beyond me. That's got a nice edge to it. It's getting past that point of being from dull to like somewhat sharp. It's not like sharp enough to cut, but it's sharp enough to have an edge. Nice. Get a close-up of that shit. Get a close-up of that mini sword. Yeah, that's nice looking, isn't it? Now, when it comes to the dating scene, you gotta be observant. Now, I almost had a pickup line ready for that hot-ass goth chick earlier, like, hey, baby, you like guitar players because I rock your world. But then I noticed that she was there with her boyfriend, so I immediately backed off. I smiled politely and waited patiently to be served by the cashier and that sort of thing. So, you know. Yeah. God damn it. But I can't expect to have a girlfriend if I'm flipping out over little minuscule shit. You know what I'm saying? Facebook. I shouldn't use my horoscope as an excuse when I'm in Aries. That's beside the point. I mean, there are certain things getting pissed off at would justify getting angry. There are certain times when getting a little bit angry helps, but it's not needed all the time. That's the thing of it. Ooh, yeah, that edge, right. That's kind of nice edge on it. That's just about there. Sharp enough for self-defense. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. If needed. As far as I know, carrying a mini sword like this ain't illegal to have on person. And if you're smoking crystal meth, man, you got some serious issues, man. You know what I'm saying? You have an addictive personality. You got sick and tired of the high that other drugs were giving you, so. And when that happens, people call marijuana a gateway drug. And usually it starts off with that because the fucking DARE program and the school system be like, oh, you shouldn't smoke pot, it's evil. It'll make you want to try other stuff. Bullshit. People have addictive personalities. You want to get pot off the streets in a dispensary where it's sold by a responsible dispensary. That way, if a kid does get a hold of it, it's not laced. I mean, worst case scenario, your kid's buying weed off a dealer off the street and they're lacing it with crystal meth to hook their customers and make some more money, which is bullshit, but it happens. And I wasn't about to buy weed from these two dudes after they got done yelling obscenities at me and my friend and then trying to threaten me and my friend. Like, really, dude? You know what I'm saying? All that live stream money I made comes in from YouTube. I can use that too for supplies and such. And then I still got $20 on my Burger King gift card. I got like $5 on my Taco Bell one. The next time I get the Dorito Chalupa, add nacho cheese between the shells, because that, oh dude, you don't even know. That Taco Bell food hack I did was bomb fucking diggity. And adding the nacho cheese between those two shells would have just, man. I stopped talking about it because it's making me hungry just thinking about it. Well, the next time I go to Taco Bell and I'm doing that particular item, then I'll be sure to do a video of me doing it proper, more like I was doing the other ones, you know, but not that it wasn't proper, I mean, early in the morning and it just, yeah. That's sharp enough to do some damage, but dull enough that it's not going to cut me. I can dig that. I can dig that very nicely. Because by the time that point gets in there, that point's sharp as shit. A puncture point is all you're going to need. noise. So that way I can say it's primarily for display purposes. And I may sharpen it more later. Like, I'm not going to sit here and sharpen this thing all night. That'd be pointless. Boring as shit. No one wants to watch that. No, I'm used to people talking shit about me. You learn not to give a fuck about it when it starts happening. It's just, you know.